There's a truth you've come to understand. The moment you stand tall, the world that once expected you to bow begins to tremble. Your very existence disrupts the delicate balance they've built, a web of lies so carefully woven that its unraveling could topple kingdoms. But why? Why does it seem like those who carry the purest truth, the most sacred purpose, are the ones that come under the fiercest attack? The answer is simple. Your truth is their threat. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. To be chosen is to be set apart, marked by the divine with a destiny that will shake the foundations of everything that stands against it. And those who live in the shadows of lies, they cannot bear the light you carry. So they do what they know best. They twist your story, distort your name, and flood the air with poisonous whispers. Why? Because a truth that is powerful is too dangerous for them to ignore. Have you ever felt that chill, the unmistakable moment when everything around you changes? One moment, you're walking through life, focused on your work, your purpose, your path. And the next, the world is buzzing with whispers you can't control. You start hearing your name in conversations you're not a part of. Posts surface untagged, as if to erase your existence. The people you've known for years who once had your back suddenly vanish, their phones going silent. And while you stand in confusion, trying to piece it together, they are busy fueling the storm. What does that tell you about them? The wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. It isn't the innocent who are hunted, it's the righteous, those with purpose, who challenge the status quo. It's not your sin, but your truth that scares them. And what do? They throw mud, they lie, they try to bury your light beneath layers of deceit. But there's a truth they can never erase. Mud may cover a diamond, but it will never change its nature. The real question is, why the relentless pursuit? Why is so much energy invested in trying to destroy your name, to diminish your light? Because your presence alone reveals their weakness. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. Ephesians 5:8. Your life is a mirror, and in your truth they see their own reflection, the lies they've been living, the control they've been clinging to, and they can't bear it. Take the example of Martin Luther King Jr., a man whose words, driven by truth, changed the course of history. He was attacked relentlessly, smeared by those threatened by his vision of equality and justice. But the more they tried to silence him, the louder his voice became. The more they spread lies, the more truth came to light. His legacy stands as proof that those who attack the chosen ones ultimately dig their own graves. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Martin Luther King Jr. Yet the attacks don't stop there. They will keep going until they break you, or so they think. But here's the twist. The very effort to destroy you is the thing that builds your foundation. The world is starting to ask the right questions. People who once believed the lies are now seeing cracks in the story they were fed. They are noticing the desperation in your attackers' actions, the fear in their attempts to keep your name in their mouths. And as they ask, they start to listen. Once people begin questioning the lies, truth has no choice but to emerge. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. The moment they begin to doubt the narrative, the moment they ask, why are they going so far to destroy you? That's the moment the floodgates open. The truth doesn't need to be defended. It reveals itself, slowly, quietly, but powerfully. This isn't just your story. It's a timeless battle, one as old as humanity itself. From Joseph's brothers, who envied his dreams and sought to destroy him, to King Saul, who feared David's rise to power. The chosen ones have always been targets, and those who seek to tear them down are always undone by their own pride and fear. King Saul's story serves as a cautionary tale. He started as God's chosen king, but his jealousy and unwillingness to confront his own darkness led him to attack David, a young shepherd chosen by God to be the next king. Saul's actions, driven by fear, ultimately led to his downfall. His kingdom was taken from him, and he died alone, a tragic reminder that attacking the light only leads to destruction. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. Saul could not see what God had planned for David, and in his blindness he lost everything. And what of your attackers, the ones who sought to bury your name in the mud? How long can they keep running from the truth? The lies they have spread will one day catch up to them. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The very effort to destroy you will be the thing that makes you rise. In conclusion, stand firm in your truth, chosen one. The battle is not just about your name or your story. It's about the battle between light and darkness, between truth and lies. The more they attack, the stronger your foundation becomes. Your truth cannot be buried. It will rise and it will shine. And when it does, the world will see you for who you truly are. This is your moment. Stand tall, because the victory is already secured. The truth will always come out, and when it does, it will set you free. Throughout history, the most powerful and transformative figures have faced the fiercest opposition when their very existence threatened the established order. These individuals who dared to speak truth to power found themselves under relentless attack simply because their light exposed the lies that the world was built upon. Why is it that when you stand firm in your truth, others feel threatened? And just like them, you are realizing that standing in your truth comes with a price. But there's a peculiar thing about the universe. It has a way of ensuring that no price is ever paid in vain. In fact, that very price is the seed of something far greater than you can imagine. "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord, "plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. Do you trust that your sacrifice is leading you towards something greater? Imagine a towering mountain, worn and weathered by the harshest storms. It stands as a symbol of resilience, unshaken by the winds that seek to break it. The very ground that trembles beneath it as the storm rages on only serves to make the mountain stronger, its roots deeper. So, chosen one, just like that mountain, you stand unbroken in the face of these attacks. Do you feel the strength building within you, even as you face the fiercest opposition? The same crowd that threw stones at you today will one day have no choice but to watch as you rise above them, untouched. And when you do, they will choke on the dust you leave behind. This isn't a metaphor, it's the reality of your power. Why do you think people are so afraid of the light you carry? They attacked because they feared your truth, just as the storm fears the unyielding strength of the mountain. You may not see it yet, but in the grand design of things, they've already begun to expose themselves. Every word they speak, every lie they tell, every accusation they throw only chips away at the mask they wear. The truth will out. A line from Macbeth that rings as true today as it did when Shakespeare penned it centuries ago. And, just like the actors on the stage of Macbeth, those who once sought to turn the world against you will find themselves caught in their own deceit. What would happen if they had faced the truth instead of building their lies? Every lie they told will come back to them, each word like a stone thrown back at them. The forces they thought would destroy you will only lead to their own undoing. What is whispered in the dark will be shouted from the rooftops. Luke 12:3. Their lies will no longer hold their ground, and when they face the truth, will they be able to bear it? Are you ready, chosen one, to walk with me through every twist and turn of the treacherous web they've spun around you? Have you prepared yourself for the truth that will be revealed in the end? We're going to strip away the lies piece by piece, not just for the satisfaction of revealing the truth, but to ensure that the next time they try to pull this vile trick, you'll see it coming from miles away. You will be prepared. And this time, they won't succeed. The attacks you've faced will not be in vain. Your truth is more powerful than their lies. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. And the more you stand in that truth, the more your presence will expose their falsehoods for what they are. Like the sun that rises after the storm, you will shine even brighter after every attack. Your light cannot be dimmed by the shadows they cast. Do you feel the weight of their lies lifting off you as you stand in the light of truth? Drop a comment with the words 777 if you're ready to stand tall, unwavering, in the face of their lies. Let them know you are not just a passive viewer, you are a part of a movement that refuses to let the innocent be crushed by false accusations. And if you can, bless the team behind this message with a super thanks. This isn't just about the words on a screen. This is about the courage it takes to stand up and speak the truth, no matter the cost. Every contribution, whether it's a cent or a dollar, fuels this mission to bring light where darkness once prevailed. You're not just watching a video. You are part of a force that refuses to be silent, that refuses to let the darkness win. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. You are a chosen one, and your truth will be your vindication. We are walking this journey together, and you will feel the pull to stay until the very last word. This is not just a story, it's your story. It's your proof that the lies they spread cannot stand. The truth is already on its way out. They will choke them first. When you plant a lie, you dig your own grave. The deeper the lie, the deeper the hole. Chosen one, they thought their story about you would be the one the world remembered. They thought they could control the narrative, frame you as the villain, and walk away clean. But here's the truth. They hate your light. Lies are like spider silk. They look delicate, almost invisible, but the more they wrap themselves in them, the tighter it gets. And now, they're stuck in their own web, struggling for air, while the truth sharpens its teeth. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, nor is anything secret that will not become known. Luke 8:17. Do you ever wonder how many secrets they've buried, only to have them resurface? Now imagine this for a moment. Someone throws mud on you in front of the whole village. They stand there with a fake smirk, hoping the crowd will never question where the mud came from. But mud has a smell, chosen one. And over time, people can tell who's been standing knee-deep in the swamp. Those who pointed fingers at you are now the ones with it all over their hands, dripping for everyone to see. Why do they go so far to destroy someone who never harmed them? The answer is simple, yet ugly. Your existence was a mirror they couldn't bear to look into. Your presence exposed every weakness they were trying to hide. You didn't need to shout it. You didn't need to prove it. It was in the way you carried yourself, in the fact that your strength wasn't borrowed from them. That terrified them. The righteous man is as bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. That boldness made them tremble. Phone records don't lie. Screenshots don't vanish. Location data doesn't rewrite itself to fit their story. And more importantly, real witnesses, the ones they thought would stay quiet, are now stepping into the light. They thought intimidation would silence everyone, but here's a fact they forgot. Fear fades. But truth has a way of gnawing at a person's conscience until it spills out. Have you noticed how their lies started to crumble as the truth began to rise? They didn't just attack you in the open before they threw that first stone. They studied you. They were watching long before you even knew they existed. They were waiting for the perfect moment to twist the knife. And when your path disrupted their plans, when you refused to build your life on the crooked foundation they were offering, They marked you. Not with public threats, not with a fight you could see coming. No, they marked you with silence. That cold, calculated kind of silence that makes doors close before you can even knock. Opportunities that should have been yours mysteriously disappeared. People who used to greet you with warmth suddenly acted like they barely knew your name. Why did they resort to silence instead of confrontation? They wanted you to feel like the world was shrinking around you, suffocating you slowly until you broke. But here's where you hurt them the most. Chosen one, you didn't break. Every obstacle they threw in your way, you climbed. Every wall they built, you found a way around. And every whisper they spread, you outlived. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. That's what burns them the deepest. Their lies couldn't kill your truth. It's disgusting what they did. Yes, but here's the part that should make you smile, even if it's through gritted teeth. Karma does not need a map to find its target. Those who tried to bury you are now looking over their shoulder because the very tools they used to destroy you are turning against them. The phone calls they made are being brought up in conversations they never wanted to have. The screenshots they doctored are being compared to the originals. The facts they fed to the wrong people are being exposed in front of the same audience they once used to shame you. This is the thing about lies. They require constant maintenance. How long can they keep fixing the cracks in a story that's falling apart? They have to keep telling them, adjusting them, patching holes when the truth leaks through. And the more they try to hold it together, the more desperate they look. You, on the other hand, don't have to do a thing. The truth doesn't need your defense. It just needs time. Do you know what's really got them scared right now? It's not the thought of you confronting them. It's the quiet way you've carried yourself while the truth has been working behind the scenes. They expected rage. They expected you to lose control, to give them more proof for their story. But you didn't. You just kept moving forward, and in doing so, you forced their lies to decay in the open. The truth will be made known. John 18:37. And here's a hard fact for them. The crowd that once cheered their accusations will be the same crowd that watches their fall. People are fickle. They love drama, but they love seeing a liar get caught even more. And when that day comes, chosen one, you won't need revenge. Their own words will be the knife that cuts them down. You might wonder if you'll ever get an apology. You won't. People like this don't say sorry. They rewrite the past to make it look like they were never wrong. But don't mistake their silence for victory. That silence is fear. That silence is the sound of them realizing they've been exposed, that their web is collapsing, and that you're still standing. Take Oprah Winfrey's story as an example. An ordinary woman who was faced with unimaginable lies and opposition. Oprah, like many other public figures, has had her fair share of smear campaigns. Yet, despite the attacks, she stayed true to herself. Oprah's journey shows how the lies of others cannot silence the truth. Instead, her strength became a beacon for those who saw her story unfold. She once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." Her journey proves that the light of truth will always shine through, no matter how dark the web of lies becomes. So let this fuel you. Let every lie they told be another weight you lift off your shoulders. They gave you a battlefield, but they forgot you were born for war. Every rumor is proof that you mattered enough to be targeted. Every smear is proof that you disrupted something that needed disrupting. And every false accusation is just another thread in the rope they've been tying around themselves since the day they came for you. Their web of lies will choke them first. Chosen one, and when it does, the world will remember the truth. Not the false image they tried to paint, but the strength you showed when everyone else was too afraid to stand beside you. When the light you carry begins to shine too brightly, the shadows will make their move. Chosen one, do you feel it? The weight of attacks that come not from enemies you can see, but from those you might once have called allies. The truth is, They couldn't break you by sheer force. You've been tried and tested, and still you stand. But why does it feel as though the world is constantly trying to dim your light? Why do those who should be lifting you up instead seem determined to tear you down? Look at the path of those who were chosen. Just like Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers, we too face betrayal, ridicule, and envy. In the face of unthinkable adversity, Joseph didn't succumb to despair. Instead, he embraced his divine destiny, his inner fire refusing to be snuffed out. He rose not because of their hatred, but despite it. He knew this truth, a truth shared by many who have walked this earth and lived in God's favor. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The truth is, when you carry a light that others cannot bear to see, they will try to extinguish it one way or another. First, they come at you head-on. Rumors, lies, exclusion, all of it. But just like a sharpened blade, you absorbed every strike and grew stronger. Every word meant to break you only polished you further, leaving them stunned. Their attacks didn't break you, they forged you into something unbreakable. The light you carry shines even brighter because of the darkness they tried to cast over you. Yet, when the direct assault failed, they adapted. They did what cowards do when they can't defeat you face to face. They changed the game. Instead of attacking you head-on, they try to twist your perception, making you question the very power that sustains you. They whisper false promises disguised as wisdom. Maybe it's time to pull back. Maybe it's time to dim that light of yours. After all, peace and harmony are what you need, not power. But what are they really asking you to do? To shrink. To suppress the very essence of your divine calling. Think of it like a snake in the grass. It hisses and strikes when threatened, but at least you can see it coming. The true danger, however, is when the snake curls up at your feet, pretending to be harmless, blending into the shadows until you trust it. That's when they strike. They come with poisoned hands, offering comfort in the guise of peace. But the moment you take their bait, you've given away your fire. They're not trying to destroy you. They want you to give up your power willingly. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. Galatians 6:7. Why do they want to take your light? Because it scares them. They fear what they cannot control. Just as a mighty river carves its path through stone, unstoppable and relentless. They can't stop your momentum. So, they tell you to slow down. They tell you that you're too intense, too ambitious. But remember, when a river flows too fast, it can move mountains. And when you keep pushing forward in your purpose, nothing, not even their soft words, will be able to change your course. And here's where they miscalculate. They think that by planting seeds of doubt, they can wear you down. They believe that if they speak softly enough, you'll start to believe them. But you are no fool. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Your strength doesn't come from their whispers. It comes from something far greater. When they tried to convince you to give up, to stop fighting for the dream God placed in your heart, you saw it for what it was, a trap. In every attack they make, you see their fear, fear of what you will become, fear of the truth that you're about to step into. They can't control what they don't understand, and they can't understand what they can't control. That's why they spend all their energy trying to convince you that you're too much, too bold, too powerful. But they don't know the truth. God is greater than our hearts, and He knows everything. 1 John 3:20. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what if their fear of my growth is the very sign that I'm on the path to something extraordinary? Let's consider this for a moment. A master thief, unable to break into a vault, tries instead to convince the guard that there's nothing worth protecting inside. That's the enemy's strategy. They can't take your crown, So they try to make you forget that you ever wore one. But the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. They fear what you represent. Your light is a reminder of the divine purpose they wish they could silence. Yet it's their actions that prove your power. Think about it. No one invests that much time in someone who isn't a threat. The enemy isn't concerned with weaklings. The fact that they are strategizing against you is all the proof you need of your significance. They can change their approach, they can slither around you, but they cannot take your truth. They can't take your crown, and they can't take your purpose. And as the battle rages on, don't be surprised when the truth comes out. You won't need to say a word. The truth will set you free. John 8:32. When their lies finally fall apart, when their manipulation is exposed, you will stand there unshaken. They will be left to choke on the very words they use to try to break you. Your light will continue to burn brightly, not because you're trying to shine, but because it's who you are. And the more they try to dim it, the brighter it gets. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to stand strong in your truth, knowing that no matter how much darkness tries to swallow you, your light is undefeatable? So, stand tall, chosen one. They thought they could make you doubt yourself, but you are here to remind them that nothing, no scheme, no whisper, no attack, can take away what God has placed inside you. You are not here to be tamed. You are here to burn brighter than their darkness, to rise higher than their doubts, and to show them that you were built for every battle, seen and unseen. And in the end, every effort they make to weaken you will only serve as evidence of how unshakable you truly are. Keep walking in your purpose, for the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. They didn't lose because they failed to stop you. They lost because they never understood that you were unstoppable. Chosen one, have you ever felt as though those around you are trying to control your path, your destiny? The weight of their expectations, their judgments, as if your worth is determined by their approval? The truth is, they couldn't stop you because they failed to recognize what was inside you. You were never meant to bow to their rules. You were carved from something divine, something they can never replicate. That's why your rise was inevitable. Think about this. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. When you have God's light inside of you, nothing, no scheme, no attack can extinguish it. The enemy can try, but they'll only find that the harder they try to diminish you, the brighter you shine. They believed that they could hold you down, that they could control your story with their narrative. But in reality, you've always held the pen. Your story has never been in their hands, and they never understood that. Now, imagine the strength of a mountain. The winds may howl, the rain may fall, and the storms may rage, but the mountain doesn't shrink. It stands firm. The mountain doesn't ask the valley if it's okay to grow taller. It simply rises, regardless of the forces against it. This is who you are. They thought they were the storm that could shape you, but they forgot that though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken. Isaiah 54:10. Storms pass, but you, like the mountain, remain. Have you ever questioned whether they can really control your destiny? Or have you wondered if your power lies beyond their ability to comprehend? When they realized their control was slipping away, they tried to claim your story as their own. Desperation crept into their words as they tried to convince you that your time had come and gone, that you were past your prime. They spoke in absolutes, as if their trembling, ink-stained hands still held the pen that could decide your ending. They tried to rewrite your narrative. But here's the truth they couldn't digest. The plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of his heart through all generations. Psalm 33:11. You had already taken the pen and rewritten your own ending while they were still stuck on chapter 1. You were never meant to be their prize, their trophy to be captured and broken. They thought that by destroying you, they could prove their dominance. But instead, you became the one thing they never expected. A force outside their control. A truth they couldn't twist. A victory they couldn't claim. Have you ever wondered why they try so hard to diminish you? What is it about your rise that scares them so much? Why do they invest so much energy into breaking something they believe is weak? The systems they've built, the manipulations they've mastered, all rely on one core principle. People will obey the unspoken rules. But you, Chosen One, broke those rules. You didn't ask for permission, and now, as you rise without their blessing, they watch in disbelief. It's their greatest mistake. They thought they could control you, but they couldn't. They didn't understand that your rise was written by the hand of God. When they speak over you, cast doubt, or try to erase you from their version of the story, it doesn't matter, because the truth shall set you free. John 8:32. Truth, just like the seed that grows through cracks in the concrete, cannot be buried. It will always rise to the surface, no matter how deep they try to bury it. Think about the story of Simba in The Lion King. When Scar tries to manipulate the kingdom and steal the throne, Simba returns, not just as the rightful heir, but as the embodiment of truth. He is the force that cannot be controlled, the light that breaks through the darkness. You too are that force. You are the rightful heir to your destiny, and nothing, not their whispers, not their doubts, can stop your rise. As you think about your own journey, can you recall moments when they tried to control you? Have you ever felt like they wanted to steal your power or rewrite your story? Yet, despite their efforts, you've continued to rise. The more they tried to silence you, the louder your truth became. Every attack, every attempt to tear you down, only made you stronger. You've shown them something they couldn't understand. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Every time they thought they had broken you, they only confirmed one thing: you are unbreakable, and they are watching you rise with no way to stop it. Now, they may try every trick in the book, but they'll never understand this. You were born to rise. You are the mountain that cannot be eroded, the oak that will not be bent. The truth you carry is unshakable, and with every challenge you become stronger. And in the end, when they see your light shining, they'll realize they never had the power to put it out. So, Chosen One, stand tall. Your light cannot be extinguished. Your story cannot be erased. You were born for such a time as this, and no one, not even your loudest enemy, can stop what was born to rise. The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Psalm 24:1. You belong to Him. No force on earth can control what He has already set in motion. Rise in that truth. If your name shakes the room, it's not because you're weak. It's because they can't stop the truth you carry. Chosen One, have you ever noticed how the energy shifts when your name is spoken? How people subtly stiffen, their smiles falter, and their eyes narrow? It's not because of something you've done. It's because you carry a power they don't understand. The truth you embody unsettles them. You disrupt their carefully constructed illusions, and they react with fear. Imagine the air thickening just before a storm hits. It's heavy, charged, full of tension. That shift in the atmosphere happens every time you step into their world, and they feel it. It's like a storm rolling over a fragile city of glass. The wind doesn't slow down to protect the delicate walls. It crashes through them. The same way, when you move through their illusions, you don't ask for permission. You just move with force, and the lies they built around you fall apart. The truth will set you free. John 8:32. The truth you carry leaves no space for their falsehoods. They try to rewrite your story now, whispering that you're dangerous, unpredictable, a threat that must be stopped. But here's the question that rips their claim apart. Would a ruler spend time worrying about a nameless wanderer? Would an empire tremble at the thought of someone powerless? Of course not. Fear is never wasted on the irrelevant. For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory. Deuteronomy 24. Fear is a signal that they see your power, even if they're too afraid to admit it. Have you ever wondered why the ones who resist you are the ones who fear you the most? What is it about your strength that makes them so afraid? Think about someone like Emma, a hard-working single mother who fights every day to provide for her children. At work, she's constantly overlooked, passed over for promotions in favor of others who are seen as more qualified. Yet, Emma never gives up. She keeps working, keeps striving, even when her colleagues gossip about her in the background. But Emma's persistence doesn't go unnoticed. Over time, her work ethic and integrity start to shine through. And even those who once doubted her can't ignore the value she brings to the company. One day, Emma is promoted to a leadership position. And suddenly, those same people who once dismissed her are forced to acknowledge her strength. Her success shakes the room just like a storm through glass, because no one could stop her. Have you ever experienced the moment when you realized that those who doubted you were the very ones who feared what you were capable of? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9:10. Your strength isn't just in your ability to survive, it's in your ability to rise without their approval. You were never meant to fit into their box. You were meant to break through, just like Emma did, and become something they never anticipated. They resist you because you represent everything they can't control. You were never just a name on their list of subjugation. You were the storm they never prepared for, the crack in the wall they thought was impenetrable. And every time they speak your name with venom, they reveal their own desperation. They can't handle what you've become. They will try to smear your name. They will attempt to silence you. They will use their power to manipulate the story. But here's the truth they can't escape. The very fear in their eyes is the proof that you've already won. Every time they resist you, they confirm how much they fear the power within you. In every battle, in every whispered word against you, remember this: your power doesn't come from titles, alliances, or manipulation. It comes from being untouchable in spirit. Like Emma, you rise because you carry truth inside of you, something no one can take away. The more they try to stop you, the more they reveal their own insecurities and obsession. And in the end, it's that very fear in their eyes that proves your strength. If they fight you this hard, it's not because they see weakness in you, it's because they know you have the power to end them. Chosen one, take a moment to observe their movements. Watch how they scratch and claw at the ground you stand on, desperate to shake your balance. The air around you fills with doubt, as if they could cloud your vision and make you hesitate. But hesitation is the only weapon they have left, and it belongs to those who need permission. You, chosen one, were never here to ask for permission. You were here to rise. Imagine a fortress with walls so high and unbreakable that no army would dare to attack it. But the moment the enemy believes there's a way in, even a crack, they swarm. It's that small crack that gives them hope. The enemy's strength lies not in their ability to break you, but in their belief that they can. They rally against you, not because you are weak, but because they think you are strong enough to tear down everything they've built. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. This is your truth. When God is your protector, no one can stand against you. Think of a business magnate like Steve Jobs, who was once ousted from the very company he founded. People in the tech world doubted his return, but Jobs wasn't just a man with an idea. He was the embodiment of vision and resilience. When he returned to Apple, he didn't ask for permission to take control again. He took it, and the very company that tried to push him out became his biggest platform to change the world. His return shook the corporate world because it was never about the company. It was about him, his vision, and the power he carried to shape an entire industry. The fear of his return wasn't about weakness. It was about what he could destroy. Now, you may wonder, why do they spend so much energy on you? The answer is simple. It's in their very behavior. They gather in hidden rooms, whispering your name in tones laced with venom. They form alliances with people who don't even know the real you, all to multiply the weight of their resistance. This isn't the reaction to someone insignificant. No, this is the reaction to a threat they can't control. The truth is this: they only resist what they fear. People don't spend time plotting the downfall of someone they think is powerless. They don't study your moves, plot obstacles, or rehearse their narratives unless they know that your presence can undo the structures they've spent years building. They want you to see their resistance as a warning, but in reality, it's confirmation of your power. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16:9. You are walking in divine alignment, and no matter how they resist, God's purpose will prevail. Have you ever wondered why the ones who resist you are the ones who fear you the most? What is it about your strength that makes them so afraid? Every lie they tell about you, every alliance they form behind closed doors, every roadblock they create, it's all proof that you matter more than they want to admit. If you were truly powerless, they'd ignore you. But they can't, because your existence threatens the very false foundation they stand on. And that is why they fight you. They resist because you represent the cracks in their fragile empire. So let them resist. Let them claw, curse, and burn their energy trying to slow you down. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Isaiah 41:10. Every ounce of effort they spend against you is another stamp on the truth that you are powerful enough to be feared, unshakable enough to be targeted, and inevitable enough to rise despite every attack. And that, chosen one, is the kind of confirmation they will never be able to take from you. You are more than just a name they can dismiss. You are a force, and the fear they show is the loudest proof of your power. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Let them waste their efforts. The fortress of your purpose is already unshakable. You know the tide has shifted when even the silent ones begin to raise their voices for you. Chosen one, there is a sound that the enemy fears more than anything else. Not your voice, but the roar of the crowd when they've finally seen enough. That roar is not just noise. It is a wildfire ignited by the outrage of every injustice they've witnessed you endure. The louder the roar, the more the walls around the enemy begin to tremble. And make no mistake, the people's fury didn't appear out of nowhere. It was sparked by the audacity of your enemies to strike at someone who stood alone, unarmed, except for the truth. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. You were standing in your truth, and while they thought their attack would silence you, all it did was awaken a power far greater than their deception. The truth that rises from the hearts of the people. Now imagine a dam holding back an ocean. The cracks are small at first, whispers, rumors, small injustices here and there. But when the people witness the cruelty aimed at you, the dam starts to crack. They stop patching the cracks and begin breaking the dam on purpose. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bring your children from the east and gather you from the west. Isaiah 43:5. What was once a quiet resistance begins to surge forward with force, and the enemy is scrambling to hold it back. This is no longer about just you. This is about something larger, something that cannot be contained. This isn't a pity. Pity fades. What is rising around you is recognition, a deep, primal response to injustice. Something ancient stirs in every human when they witness truth and righteousness being trampled. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. Proverbs 14:34. Deep within them, they see you as the fulcrum, the tipping point, the place where justice finds its balance. When they strike at you, they strike at the order of things, and order always strikes back. Have you ever felt the shift in the air when people start standing with you? When their silence turns to action, do you feel the weight of what that really means? The crowd knows it. They feel the wrongness in their bones. They may have been silent before, but now their silence would be a betrayal. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Psalm 24:1. The universe itself aligns in ways we can't see, but the crowd feels it. When truth calls, everything bends to answer. You might wonder if the people will stay with you, if their fury will hold. Here's the truth. When a cause becomes personal to them, it stops being about you alone. Your fight becomes their fight. Every stone thrown at you is now felt by hundreds, thousands, maybe more. And when numbers like that move, walls fall. Walls built on lies, deceit, and injustice crumble before the sheer force of truth and unity. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. Matthew 16:18. What if this fight isn't just yours? What if your rise is destined to ignite something far larger than yourself, something that will awaken others? So let them roar, let the fire spread, let it burn away the lies and the fears they've tried to hide behind. Because once the crowd is awake, they cannot be lulled back to sleep. They are no longer just spectators. They are a force, and the enemy's walls will not stand against them. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The enemy's greatest fear is that the roar of the crowd will grow too loud for them to ignore. Let it rise. Alone is the illusion they want you to believe in. Unity is the truth they can't destroy. Chosen. 1. Have you ever felt like you were standing alone in the face of overwhelming odds? Like the weight of the world was on your shoulders and there was no one beside you to help bear it? That is the lie the enemy wants you to buy into, the illusion of isolation. They want you to think that you are the only one who cares, the only one who sees the truth. But in reality, you are never alone. The dark force's greatest miscalculation isn't in the lies they told or the traps they set. It's in believing that the people would sit quietly, blind and unmoved, while they tried to crush you. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. Psalm 145, verse 18. They thought their schemes would go unchallenged, that the veil they draped over the truth would be enough to keep the world asleep. But people aren't as blind as the enemy hopes. The veil is tearing, and with every rip, more light pours through. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Luke 8:17. Their lies cannot hold back the truth for long. What happens when the truth breaks through the darkness and exposes the lies that once held us captive? Now, imagine this, a lone figure standing against an oncoming tide. At first, it seems like the tide will overwhelm them, sweep them away. But then, from the horizon, hundreds, thousands step forward, shoulder to shoulder, turning that single stand into a wall of defiance. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I with them. Matthew 18:20. This is what is happening around you. The people aren't rising just for your sake. They are rising for the principle you represent. When they fight you, they are fighting for something far greater. They are fighting for the truth. The enemy's mistake wasn't just underestimating you, it was underestimating the power of unity. Their anger isn't empty noise, it's a weapon, sharp and unrelenting, forged in the fires of shared humanity. People have felt the sting of injustice before. They recognize the pattern. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. When they see injustice, they don't just sympathize, they mobilize. The cause you represent is the axis around which this storm turns. Without you, there's no center, no rallying point. The enemy thought they could isolate you, make you easy to break. Instead, they've awakened something far greater than themselves. A movement, a reckoning, a collective force that cannot be silenced. In Les Miserables, when the people rise against the injustice of the French monarchy, they don't rise for just one individual. They rise for the principle of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The revolution was never just about the poor and oppressed. It was about the collective soul of the people. Similarly, your fight is not just your own. It has become the fight of all who believe in what you stand for. What if the resistance you're facing is not just about your strength, but about the people finally seeing the truth? What if your stand has awakened something within them they can no longer ignore? You might ask, will they keep standing when the pressure builds? Here's the fact. Once someone has seen the truth, they can't unsee it. They may try to turn away, but they are forever changed. The people's fury may have begun with you, but now it belongs to something bigger, a cause that will outlive the lies, the schemes, and even the ones who started them. The dark force wanted you to feel alone, so they could pick you apart in silence. Instead, they handed you the most powerful shield, solidarity. When the people stand with you, chosen one, your victory stops being a possibility and becomes an inevitability. And the gates of Hades will not overcome it. Matthew 16:18. They cannot stand against the unity of the righteous, for where the people are united, their God is in the midst. When every weapon breaks upon you, the enemy starts to realize that you were never the target. You were the fortress, chosen one. The dark force prides itself on precision. They craft their traps with the meticulousness of master craftsmen, weaving deceit, timing their strikes, believing that every move will corner you. But here's the truth they can't digest. Every attack they launch hits something they can't see, something they can't touch, something they can't destroy. It's the armor you carry, forged not in comfort, but in the fires of every trial you've survived. Now, imagine this. A blacksmith spends days shaping the sharpest blade they've ever made, only to swing it at a wall of diamond and watch it snap in two. That's what happens every time they come for you. Their lies, their sabotage, their schemes, each one crumbles before it even reaches your core. No weapon forged against you will prevail. Isaiah 54:17. They thought they were fighting you, but what they didn't realize is that they were fighting the force that made you unbreakable. Do you see now that every strike against you only reveals your strength, while their weapons are shattered by the very force that empowers you? This isn't just about resilience, it's about something deeper. It's about the truth that you are not standing alone. They believe they're orchestrating your downfall, but all they've done is step into a story where their role is already decided, not as the victor, but as the warning. Every snare they've set has become the proof of your invincibility. For the righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again. Proverbs 24:16. Their traps, their schemes, their lies all crumble in the face of your truth. You might wonder, why don't they stop if nothing works? Why do they continue? It's because pride blinds them. They keep coming, convinced that the next move will be the one that breaks you. But the truth is, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. The more they push, the more they exhaust themselves against an armor they can't penetrate. Here's the fact they can't face. You didn't build this armor overnight. It wasn't forged in the comfort of ease. It was tempered by years of trials they'll never understand. It's older than their schemes, stronger than their alliances, and rooted in something far beyond their reach. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Psalm 18, verse 2. They aren't just fighting you, they are fighting the force of truth, the inevitability of justice, and the momentum of a universe that won't bend for them. And now imagine the resonance of this truth. Just as a tower stands firm against the fiercest storm, you stand against the winds of their fury. The winds may howl, the rain may pour, but the tower doesn't flinch. It absorbs the force, standing tall, unyielding, as the world around it crumbles. Your armor is like that tower. It's built from the trials you've survived, the truth you carry, and the God who strengthens you. So let them swing, let them plan, let them believe the trap will finally work this time. But the Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen and protect you from the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Every attempt that breaks against you is another reminder to the world, and to them that the armor they can't pierce was never theirs to overcome. They thought the pain would bury you, but all it did was uncover the strength they couldn't kill. Chosen one, have you ever felt as though each blow, each betrayal, and each attack was meant to break you? The enemy believed that every strike, every wound would chip away at who you are. What they didn't understand is that pain doesn't destroy you, it sharpens you. It doesn't weaken you, it reveals the core of who you truly are, turning raw strength into something unbreakable. What if the very pain they inflicted upon you was the forge where your true strength was molded, and each scar was a mark of your unshakable resilience? Imagine this, a piece of gold pulled from the earth. It's dull, dirty, and covered in the weight of the soil. The only way to reveal its true brilliance is to throw it into the hottest fire. For the refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. Proverbs 17:3. That's exactly what they've done to you. They didn't bury you, they refined you. Every attack they launched, every lie they spread, every loss they caused, all of it burned away the layers they thought you needed until only your core remained, untouchable. Their goal was to crush you, but what they didn't see was that with every blow you became more brilliant, more resilient. Your scars are not wounds. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. They are proof that you walked through the fire and didn't burn. They wanted you to hide your scars, to see them as flaws, but what they don't understand is that every mark is a badge, a testament to the battles you've faced and the strength you've gained. In fact, the very scars they hoped would shame you have become the undeniable evidence of your resilience. You might ask yourself, why does it hurt so much if you're winning? Why does it feel like the pressure is getting worse even as you rise? The answer is simple. Pain is part of the transformation process. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:2-3. Growth is never comfortable. It's in the pressure, the trials, and the challenges that we expand into who we are meant to be. The more pressure you're under, the higher you'll rise once you break free. What they think is wearing you down is actually building the momentum to launch you higher than they can ever reach. And here's a fact they'll never admit. Every move they make to harm you becomes a stepping stone toward your purpose. The tools they thought would destroy you, betrayal, lies, cruelty, are the very tools you now carry into your next victory. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You've learned endurance from their cruelty, clarity from their lies, and strategy from their betrayals. All the pain they've caused has only prepared you for the victory ahead. Think of someone like Maya Angelou, a poet and civil rights activist who faced immense challenges and prejudice throughout her life. Yet her pain didn't defeat her, it fueled her passion. Angelou was a woman who faced tremendous adversity, yet she turned every hardship into a source of power. In her words, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated." Through the fire of her struggles, she forged her own crown of success and influence. The fire that others thought would destroy her only revealed the brilliance of her true potential. In the same way, what if your struggles are not the end, but the beginning of a new, more powerful version of yourself, waiting to rise from the ashes? So let them keep believing that they're breaking you. With every blow, you grow stronger. With every attempt to bury you, you rise higher. And one day, chosen one, they'll realize that the fire they lit to consume you only forged your crown. And that crown will shine in a way their darkness will never be able to dim. They think they're winning because they're moving pieces, but they're playing checkers on your chessboard. Chosen one, the dark force walks with an arrogance that would almost be laughable if it wasn't so dangerous. They believe they're the masterminds, pulling strings, controlling the board, deciding where you can and cannot move. But here's the reality. They will never admit that this is not their game, and it never was. Imagine a player who thinks they're winning simply because they're moving fast. They take piece after piece, smirking at every capture, unaware that every move they make is setting up their own checkmate. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. That's your enemies right now. They mistake activity for victory, never realizing that every attack they launch only positions you closer to the moment they can't escape. They think they're erasing you, but they're actually clearing the stage for your arrival. Each attempt to wipe you out is removing the noise, the clutter, the distractions that stood between you and your ascension. Can you see the game for what it really is? Do you recognize that each strike against you only leads you closer to the moment of their undoing? They're dismantling the very environment that gave them power, and they're too blind to see it. The Lord frustrates the plans of the nations and thwarts all their schemes. Psalm 33:10. The space they think they're creating for your downfall is the same space the universe is preparing for your transformation. You might ask, why don't they see the trap they're in? Because arrogance blinds. When someone believes they're untouchable, they stop looking for their own weaknesses. For the pride of man will be brought low, and the arrogance of men will be humbled. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. Isaiah 2:17. They can't see that the trap they're setting for you is the one that will catch them. Think about Judas, one of the disciples who betrayed Jesus. In his arrogance, he thought he could control the outcome of his actions. He believed his betrayal was a small price for 30 pieces of silver. But Judas didn't understand the cosmic forces at work. His greed and betrayal only set the stage for something far greater, the redemption of mankind. The very thing he thought he could manipulate for personal gain turned into his downfall. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Mark 8:36. Judas's belief that he could manipulate the system for his benefit blinded him to the higher purpose that was unfolding, and in the end, it led to his own destruction. Have you ever felt the weight of someone else's arrogance against you? What happens when their pride becomes the very thing that sets their fate in motion? And that's when the game turns against them. The moves they thought were attacks become the very steps that guide them into their own collapse. The truth is, they can't win because they don't understand the rules of the game they've stepped into. This isn't just about strategies and schemes. It's about forces they can't manipulate: momentum, truth, and inevitability. The plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of his heart through all generations. Psalm 33:11. They are fighting against something far bigger than you and much bigger than themselves. So let them keep playing. Let them believe the board belongs to them, because while they're celebrating their small moves, the end game is already written and it's not in their favor. Have you noticed how often those who try to control you end up being controlled by their own schemes? Can you see how their manipulations are actually working to your advantage? In the end, chosen one, they'll realize too late that they were never in control. They weren't the players, they were the pieces, and you were always the one moving toward victory. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge. Psalm 18 verse 2. You've been playing the long game all along, and while they were busy focusing on their fleeting moves, your victory was inevitable. When they tried to silence you, they gave the world something worth listening to. Chosen one, what your enemies never understood is that their attacks could never be contained to you alone. Every move they've made against you has been watched, felt, and remembered by others. They thought your pain would isolate you, but instead it became a beacon, a signal flare in the darkness, telling the world, here stands someone they could not break. Imagine this, a single torch lit in the middle of a pitch-black valley. At first it's just enough to guide you, but then others see it, and they come closer, each carrying their own spark. Soon what began as one light becomes a wildfire, stretching far beyond where you stand. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. That's what your struggle has done. It's ignited something in others, a fire they didn't even know they had. When you stand unbroken, you give others permission to rise. Your courage becomes contagious. People who have been silenced, shamed, or beaten down in their own battles are now watching you hold your ground, and something inside them shifts. They see that it's possible, not just to survive, but to stand tall in the aftermath, just like the great redwood trees, standing tall for centuries, their roots intertwined beneath the soil, creating a foundation that can withstand the fiercest storms. Each tree, though towering alone, becomes part of a vast, unshakable forest when they stand together. Can you feel the power of your own example? Do you see how your journey has become the light others need to find their own strength? Your resilience becomes their blueprint, showing them step by step how to walk through the fire without losing themselves. You might wonder, why would my fight matter to them? Because strength, when witnessed, is a powerful teacher. You are living proof that darkness can be faced without surrender. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. That kind of example travels further than you will ever know. The fire you carry, fueled by courage and truth, spreads far beyond your understanding. And here's the irony that should sting your enemies the most. They thought they were writing a story about your defeat. Instead, they've written the opening chapter of countless other stories of defiance. They've turned you from a target into a catalyst, sparking transformation in places their influence can't reach. You are not just a victim of their actions. You are the spark they can't put out. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis 50:20. What if every battle you've fought is not just a test for you, but a test for the people watching you? Can you see the impact you've made on those who now rise with you? The more they try to smother you, the more oxygen they give to the fire spreading around you. And when that fire is carried by many, it's no longer just your fight. It becomes a movement. In trying to destroy you, they've awakened something far more dangerous to them, a wave of courage that will keep rising long after they've been forgotten. You weren't born to fit the path. You were born to build the one they said could never exist. Chosen one, you were never meant to walk behind anyone. You were never meant to fit into the narrow lanes carved by those who feared what you might become. Every betrayal, every knife in your back, every door slammed in your face wasn't an obstacle, it was the forge. And from that fire, you emerged stronger, sharper, and impossible to shape into anything that would serve their comfort. Imagine this, a traveler walking through a dense forest where the trail vanishes. Most would turn back, but you, instead of stopping, take out a blade and carve a new way forward. Every step cuts through resistance. Every swing of your will reshapes the landscape. That's what you've done. You've refused the well-worn road because you were never meant to arrive at their destination. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Romans 12:2. The threshold you stand on isn't theirs to guard, it's yours to claim. And now here you are, standing at the edge of history, not as a byproduct of their world, but as the architect of what comes next. Think of Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister during World War II, who stood against the tide of defeatism, while the world was engulfed in chaos, and even many within his own ranks were losing hope. Churchill never wavered. His determination and refusal to bow to the forces of tyranny reshaped the future of the world. He didn't walk a path that was already laid out for him. He built a new one. Just like you, he chose a road that others couldn't follow. And that decision changed the course of history. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Churchill's words remind us that our journey isn't dictated by others' expectations, but by our ability to forge ahead. They thought they could write you into the margins, but you've taken the pen and started a new chapter they can't control. You might wonder if the fight is really over, but here's the truth. The battle was decided the moment you refused to kneel. Submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. The moment you chose your own path over their approval, you set into motion a rise they can't reverse. Every attack since has only confirmed what they already know deep down. Your ascent is inevitable, and that's what haunts them. Not just the fact that you'll rise, but that when you do, it will be on a foundation they never built and can never touch. Have you ever felt the weight of the world trying to push you down, but in the moment you stood, everything shifted? Do you see how their attempts to break you only made you more unshakable? They will have no claim to your victory, no foothold in the future you're creating. So, take the step, chosen one. The path ahead isn't a gift from them. It's the result of every mile you've walked through betrayal, through fire, through shadow. And when you move forward, you do so carrying the truth they fear most. You are not a product of their power. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. 1 John 4:4. Have you ever wondered why, despite all their attempts, you're still standing, still moving forward? Can you feel the momentum building, knowing that your rise is inevitable? Everything they threw at you only proved one thing. You were never theirs to break. You've walked through fire, shattered their lies, and risen where they swore you would fall. And now, your rise is no longer a question. It's a certainty. Chosen ones, you are walking a path that is uniquely yours, one that was forged in the fire of your trials, crafted by the resilience in your heart, and destined to break barriers and challenge the status quo. The attacks that come your way are not signs of weakness, they are proof of your strength. The fury you face is not about your flaws, but about the light you carry. People are furious because your very existence challenges their understanding of what is possible. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Your light is so bright it exposes the darkness, and that is why they lash out. But know this, You are destined to rise, to shine even brighter, and nothing can take that away from you. As you continue on your journey, remember that your struggles are not in vain. The resistance you face only serves to strengthen you, and your victory will not only be yours, but shared by all who rise with you. You are part of something greater, something eternal, and your story is being written by the hand of God Himself. So, what can you do today? Stand firm, share your light, share your story. Let it inspire others to rise as well. If this message resonated with you, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below. Your engagement helps spread this truth to those who need it most. And whether you support through super thanks or simply by watching, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are a part of this movement, a part of the light that refuses to be dimmed. May God bless you on your journey, filling you with strength, courage, and the wisdom to continue walking in your divine purpose. May He guide your steps, protect your path, and continue to light the way for others to follow. Stay strong, stay faithful, and always remember, you are chosen, and your rise is inevitable.